All right, everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of The Fadeaway. Um, I hope you guys really enjoyed the last one. And I have a special guest on here. You guys can kind of see from the video screen and everything. But yeah, let's get into it. So, as usual, I am your host, the handsome Ghanaian devil himself, Freddie Boidu. And as always, like some housekeeping things, look at the Discord. We're always talking about that in there. There's a QR code. Just take your phone and then go on there. And as you can see, there's a publication by Gerard. Probably should have updated even more update ones because he's always constantly updating it. So what it has in there is like draft analysis, like how we're doing on the season, like grades for like overall teams. So it's really good to like look at, and then also if you're struggling with your roster, you might even get some sort of inspiration from it. So I have a guest here, and I'll let him introduce himself.
Hey everybody, it's my name is Gerard. If you don't know what I look like, that's what I look like. Is now recently Gerard Ramos Shively. I just got married like about 10 days ago. So yeah, that's so the league's now the second most important thing in my life. Yeah,
That's
I'm gonna
great.
commissioner the league for about maybe I think it's our 6 years, so 6 years now. And yeah, it's been really fun. I'm based in Washington D.C., so I got my Washington Wizards bucket hat with a Jordan Poole's face on it.
That's dope.
Um, but yeah, it's been great. Freddie's been a great co-commissioner. I love being on this podcast. I was a little sad last year; it took a little bit of a break,
Yeah.
but they started off strong this year with him and Raina. If y'all haven't seen it, you gotta check it out. Yeah, make sure y'all check out the website, join the Discord because we're always posting good content on there. But yeah, I'm excited. Let's do it.
Yeah, and then also, furthermore, if you guys have any feedback, things you want to see, things that'll make it more interesting for you guys, I know feedback from last year was like too long and stuff, so I've been trying to I took the feedback for that for the last couple of years. So whatever you guys need or whatever you guys see as fit, we'll go over it. But always trying to innovate on here. So I rounded up some of the best Discord interactions we've had in these last couple of months since the season has started. So I have the first one over there. Justin was asking for basically a trade or looking to kind of move around Jeremy Grant. He adds Isaac and says, "I want boards and assists and not bums." And then I tried to give him Lonzo Ball, but he wasn't going for that shit. So and Lonzo he's one of those players too. But and then also Gerard, you put out a poll about your team being a contender.
Oh no, I want to say David Ruiz put out that poll. I didn't put that poll out.
Oh,
David put it out. Yeah.
okay. Well, your biggest hater, David Ruiz, put out that poll. So obviously it was like split 50-50, and Drew took a chance to take a shot at you. So any responses to that?
Nah, man. It's like when you're like reach the heights I have, you don't respond to like little shit like that. So I'm gonna let my performance speak for itself.
Damn, he's calling the rest of y'all mini me's. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, on to the next. So, we had a few trades that happened since the beginning of the season. Three trades in particular. Um, Actually, I just realized it's just one of them. Actually, two trades in particular. One of them got accepted recently, and the next one will be accepted on the 30th. That one's actually my trade. But yeah, Gerard. So I guess let's talk about Embiid's knees and let a naysayer knows their first trade, which was Ja Morant for Tyler Hero and Bobby Portis.
Yeah. So I knew that trade sparked a lot of debate. Um, I think it's definitely one of those trades. Or I think Jodo or just let a naysayer know he just wanted depth and Morant's like I don't know, giving away a star player is never a good feeling. And
No.
he didn't and he kind of traded for two players. They just saw a lot of upside, Bobby Portis and Tyler Hero. You kind
Yep.
of know what you're gonna get out of them.
Yeah.
Um, so, but I could see how people like see the talent disparity there. John Morant's kind of like a superstar, and I like Bobby Portis and Tyler Hero. I think the trade's fine. I think it swings Jonathan's way for sure. Though I'll say John Morant like has had trouble staying on the court in recent years. So
Yeah.
maybe Gino just didn't want the risk. He wanted the stability of a Bobby Portis and Tyler Hero. And you know me, I'm my 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 philosophy is always if somebody wants to run their team and they can explain why they're doing it, uh, even if I wouldn't do it, let them do it. I know that we had talked a little bit about if we should exercise veto power on it, but I think in the end, we made the right decision by not using our executive power and letting the league decide.
I do think we do have a league where there's a shaming culture around leagues, trades where people feel like everybody's getting finessed, whatever. And yeah, to a certain degree, some people might be finessed. Like everyone always talks about
Yeah,
when Tad trades, it's like, what the fuck is Tad doing, right? Because like Tad, like but then at the end of the day, like Tad, I don't know how many times he's made playoffs, but he hangs around there, so it's not like he's like
yeah.
completely like bum status, right? Like
Yeah,
not
he
like
made it. He made it. Yeah, he made it to the play-in for the first year last year.
yeah,
So
yeah. He's not like my
yeah,
brothers who just like never make it anywhere. Like they just there. So I think our trade culture is like really interesting. Um, and yeah, even looking at that trade now, you become net positive. I would say in terms of threes with Tyler Hero, because like John Morant definitely takes threes, but like he's more of a nose to the basket guy. So I mean, he's gonna get you a lot of assists. So that's maybe what you're giving up, but I think overall it depends what you need right on that squad altogether. And then
yeah,
also,
yeah,
yeah. And then also, we'll talk about my trade. I will tell my rationale behind it because I know
yeah,
some
yeah.
people thought it was pretty dumb or whatever. But um, so my last matchup last week against Jonathan, I just barely won in terms of 2 assists. Right, I was killing him in rebounds, and I was killing him in basically I was killing him in field goal percentage. Free throw percentage was okay. Assist I was winning as well. But then blocks and steals became more of a closer category for me, and then turnovers like Ant and Cade were just I don't know they
Right.
just didn't want to they were hooping and it's first week jitters or whatever. So I kind of looked at my roster and then I was kind of like, okay, I have rebounds covered, right? I have a lot of like bigs, like wings, like Jay Huff has been playing really well. Ty
Right.
Jerome can get you a little bit here and there. And then also like on top of that, like I don't know, my squad was just like they seem to be covering the rebound thing pretty well. And Jalen Duren is one of those guys where I felt like he took up a lot of presence and it's kind of interesting because I mainly did not feel like he was a shot blocker, but then yesterday he got 3 blocks.
Yeah, he did. He
But
did get 3 blocks. I
he
saw
did get
that.
three
Yeah.
blocks, and I was like, what the fuck? But then all together, Alex Sarr and Champagne had 3 blocks as well. So I'm like thinking about that, but they also had like more rebounds and assists overall. So I was like, okay, from this side of things, and considering Alex Sarr, he's averaging I think like 1.7 blocks. I was like, you know what? It's really not the worst, right? I think Alex Sarr will build into his role. That's a really young Wizards team, and I think at least he'll give me blocks. He'll give me blocks and steals, at least some defense. I don't see him scoring a lot, but to be honest, with my squad, I don't think I need the scoring. Like the points will come. I have Rui, I have Ant, I have Cade. Like those guys will give me points, right? It's
Yeah,
more of
man.
those little categories. And then Julian Champagne, the first like 2 games of the season he was on fire, and also he filled out a lot of those holes. So I know everybody's like, oh, he's a waiver wire like player, but like he's honestly under the radar. I think with the Spurs and considering he's going into I think his second year, I think a lot of his potential is there, right? He's gonna be part of that Spurs squad he's gonna be able to fill out those little holes for him. Like everybody has their little enforcers, right? So
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, I like the trade. I thought it was fine. I think last time I checked, it even had like zero vetoes on the app and like five upvotes. So I think there was discussion about it, but in the end, people were fine with it. Cause
Yeah,
yeah, it's an upside trade, right? Like you picked Alex Sarr to be better later on.
yeah. So
Yeah, like yeah,
it's an investment trade, right? So I think it's like I think David Yang was the only one who kind of said something about it, but like I was just kind of like, man, I think and Jaron really needed rebounds and he said blocks too, but Jalen Duran really doesn't give that much blocks. So I was just kind of like, I
yeah.
mean,
I mean, he can do it, right? But I think
yeah,
Alex Sarr is definitely a better shot blocker,
yeah,
even like at this stage in his career, and
yeah,
he's yeah.
yeah, and
He's, yeah,
and even furthermore, at first I wanted the Israeli guy Avidot or whatever his name was
yeah,
from
yeah.
Portland, but I think it was too much for to get for Durant. It would have been a 1-to-1. So at first I said Sar and him, but I think that would have
Mm.
raised a lot more flags. So I settled on this, and I think it was good for both of us. So we'll see, right? I'm 1-0 right now, so I feel like I'm
Yeah, yeah.
cooking a little bit, but we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's worth an investment if you bet that your team can wait out Sarr before he plays better, and
Yeah,
he's still getting blocks now. So it's like,
yeah.
yeah,
He's gonna form into his role, I think.
yeah, and he does a lot. His game's more fantasy friendly,
Yeah,
or like he hits a lot more categories than Duran or
yeah,
Duran, whatever his name is. But
yeah.
yeah,
And I think that
yeah,
squad, like everyone's fucking bad on there, so like he's gonna get playtime. But
yeah,
yeah, on to
yeah.
the next. Um, so I'm gonna introduce a new segment I want to call Burn, Build, Cook. So I guess the acronym, okay, BBC, but like basically, burn means do you burn your whole squad? Do you get rid of it? Do you have to revamp? Do you have to do something drastic to make that squad work? Like, is your season over if you do not fix your squad? Build is okay, you have the right pieces. You probably just need to build around one player or kind of look at it in that way. And then also cook, since we're like 1-0 into the season, sometimes there's not really an alarm to look at a lot of these stuff and whatnot. But the main teams I picked are all 1-0. Sorry, the main teams picked are all 0-1, and they also lost pretty badly. And these are like people who lost like 2-7, not like 2-4 or like 5-4 or anything of that sort. There were like even one tie last week, but those teams are not really discussed. So the first one on the list right now is Harden's Globetrotters. So
Oh, Club Trotters.
Globetrotters, sorry, I say Globetrotters. Shit.
That's a funny name.
So just looking at the squad initially, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. So following the BBC model, which I'm a huge fan of the name. Yeah. Okay. So when I was looking at these rosters earlier, this was one roster that I'm a little like. I was like, I'm not gonna say burn for any of these teams, but I think this team's like a burn build team
Okay.
because I think he had like because he has like his Kyle, right? He has like three rookies on here, like Castle, Klingon, and Chloe Ware at all right. These all I think he's just all betting they're gonna be good later.
Yeah.
I don't know because when I look at the team outside of like Scotty Barnes and James Harden, there's nobody else on that. And I guess Brook Lopez is blocking
Brooke
like five
Lopez
shots
is
a game these
actually
days. But
Brooke
like,
Lopez has a
yeah,
lot of blocks. He's like he had like 4 blocks
right.
last night, but
But like I'm looking at this team, it's almost two center. Like they don't have. There's not enough outside of blocks I could see this team being good at. I guess like, even Harden's like assists. I know Scotty Barnes off to a slow start, but I would say like I say burn build because I think as the squad. I think the squad has the pieces to build around. Like you can build a team around like Harden, Scotty Barnes, maybe even Brandon Miller. It's just more like I think he has way too many centers and like way too many guys he's waiting on to be good later. Like they need situational things happen. Like Tari Eason, Cam Whitmore. I know he's a Rockets
I
fan.
yeah.
Like things like that. Like I don't.
Castle's a
Yeah,
huge risk. I feel. Stephen
Yeah, like the
McCastle.
team just
Yeah.
yeah, the team's just not very good. So I think he's like a burn build for me. Like, cause I don't want to say anyone's burn after week one, but he's a burn
Yeah.
build.
Yeah, and I think I'm considering him more, I guess, a build in my opinion, just because I feel like if he works around Harden and Brook Lopez, because like Brook Lopez is always going to have, and then PJ Washington to a certain degree, if he kind of keeps those and kind of moves around some of them, Gafford can stay too, but I feel like he needs to find people who are gonna at least like I don't see any like viable 3-point shooters on that squad except for like Lopez and maybe Harden, and then Scotty Barnes. You know, he'll get you assists and stuff, but like I think his main it looks like assist and um, 3-pointers were his main problem. So, but yeah,
Yeah, he has a lot of zeros in terms of like 3-point shooters on his team. So
yeah,
I think he might be tanking it. But yeah, his team's not very great. Like maybe Brandon Miller is like a trade chip he
yeah,
could do for someone that fits better. But yeah,
yeah, yeah,
Brandon Miller and one of his center, I think, with them for somebody that fits like the Harden Scotty Barnes team.
yeah. All right, so on to the next. Let a naysayer know. And if you guys don't know the background behind this, it's
Yeah,
like yeah, Jalen Milroe. He had his own like I think it was his own company. He's like let a naysayer know. Everybody thought it was
yeah.
let a nigga
It
know,
was
which
like
is crazy.
yeah, it was like Lank, right? Like his shirt said Lank on it, and it's like,
Yeah,
what's Lank mean? And yeah,
it
and we thought
was
Reese Davis was about to get canceled on
yeah,
TV.
it was dumb. It was dumb. But yeah. So this matchup, so last night or sorry last week he lost 2-7. And the main categories he lost in were 3-point percentage, and that was by a lot. Rebound percentage, which was almost about 70. Assists was around 9. Steals were around 10. But in fantasy, I feel like losing by 10 in assists is pretty big. And then also blocks he lost, and he won in rebounds, which was okay. But then points he lost by almost 200. And this was against uh, Sohan D, which is you. So you beat him last week. So what did you think? I guess since you beat him last week, what do you think he did the worst, or what do you feel like he can improve? Like what's his burn build cook?
I mean, I'll ignore the margins that he lost by, just because like it could be like he could have a good week and still lose a lot when you're playing like a team like mine.
Yeah.
Because I'll be everybody 7-2, right? But he for him. See, I can't. I had him a burn, but he did make a move, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
he did make a move for Portis and Hero. So I'll put him a build, though he doesn't have like a star player to build around necessarily.
Yeah.
Like his like I think like his like path forward is to keep building on like solid players he can get.
Yeah.
Like it looks like he got rid of Morant. So he's like because he realized like Morant's assists don't do anything with this squad. So he got
Mm-hmm.
like he added like shooting and he added like rebounds and scoring with like Hero and Portis.
Yeah.
So I think for him right now, maybe like build to see like what his team is. Like with these new additions. Wait for like a guy like Streets to come back. Add more 3-point shooting. Like I think he has a path there. It's just like a really low ceiling team.
Yeah. And
Um, but
you know,
yeah,
personally, again, I would love to see what he does because right now, looking, he is in 3-pointers, rebounds and assists and points. He's at the bottom 3 in all 3 categories. So, with that said, you know, and in comparison to everybody else, it is the first week. You can't really, make too much of it, but it might be one of those things where I don't see what improvements he can make just from looking at it because I do feel like it's a cook where it's just kind of like you just gotta wait for people to get into their right spots. Um, so I don't know. We'll see. All right, on to the next. We have the Crack Enjoyer, which is Isaac's team. So last week he lost 1-8, and he lost a lot in 3-pointers, and that was about like around 30. Rebounds was actually pretty tight, so that was around like 10. Assists were around like 11ish, and then like steals was around like 9, and then like blocks was around 13, and he lost by like maybe 100 points. So it's not honestly not the worst squad. I will say looking at Edie right there, he has the potential to at least get you blocks, but he is a foul machine. He's just hacking everybody. So he actually fouled out in his I think the first game of the season, right? It's like something crazy, which that's something to look out for. But like, yeah, let me get your thoughts on it because I think the bright spot we can all agree on is Giannis.
Yeah, I think Isaac. I'll go Cook. I think Winston's squad last week just played really, really well. Maybe even underrated his squad. I consider Isaac's team like one of like the borderline contenders.
Yeah,
Just from the start of the season, I do think like he has a couple of specialists on his team that don't do much. Like I think the team doesn't necessarily mesh well, but I think I give it another week. Like let it cook for a little bit because there's talent there. Like all those guys do something useful besides maybe like the Sumu.
yeah,
But like I think like for I know he's in trade talk, so I just let him keep cooking, let him keep doing what he's doing. I think ideally he'd flip like he'd stop trying to win assists and flip Van Fleet for someone that can score.
yeah,
I know he's looking at Maxi or somebody because like you got Brown, Giannis, a third scorer would be like way more useful than Van Fleet's assists, I think. But yeah, but guys like Anunoby, Kessler, he has a few Herb Jones. He has guys on his team that like their specialties like low volume categories, right? So like that's gonna be like it's gonna change. It's gonna vary week to week greatly.
yeah, yeah,
Like you're like someone steals or blocks usually. I think like it's like so like he's really relying to win those two categories every single week. I think that's hard to do, and he has too many guys that rely on those as like their main source of value,
mm-hmm.
like Herm Jones, OG. But I also put him a Cook because the team's like pretty talented.
Yeah. And OG's pretty spread
Yeah,
across. Like he gets you a little bit of each
yeah,
category. So
yeah. But like still for me, like OG's biggest like it's like his stocks. Like he has a lot of stocks. So I think let Isaac cook, and we'll see like what it looks like after next week. But yeah, I think like week one's always weird, right? So I think
yeah,
this team, though I am curious like how the stocks guys play out.
yeah. The only person I would say is like maybe just drop is Buzelis, but like he also
I think
like
he did. He did already. I think.
oh really okay
Yeah, I think he did today. Yeah.
yeah because he's not I don't know yeah he did
Yeah,
he literally
we'll get
dropped him
to
at like
it.
12.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, no, I'm agreeing with you with a Cook too because he has a lot of really good like um,
Yeah.
stars that could really do a lot here. And as the season goes along, especially Edie, he's gonna get better, and then also Kessler's gonna get better in terms of blocks. So he's kind of had those covered. So we're also going to look at Tad's Weenus, aka Cody, and the Weenus is I'm pretty sure it's the elbow area. So as you can
Yeah.
see, that's Cody with a live look licking Tad's weenus. So because he likes his weenus for some odd reason. Anyway, so last week, his matchup he went 2-7. In he lost in 3 pointers, and this was about like by 20. Rebounds was around 30. Assists around 20. Steals was a lot, and this was around like at least like 31 or sorry no let me do the math 21, which is kind of crazy. Blocks was really close and points was pretty close. So with that said, what kind of rating are you going to give him?
Yeah. I think Cody was another one similar to Isaac, where the guy he played, David Yang's team, just went crazy last week. Because I think David had like David has Tatum on his team, right? And Tatum's like
Tatum went
averaging like over
crazy.
30 points. He's going crazy this week. I think so. I don't think like it's quite that bad. It's more of like a reflection of how good David Yang's team. But I will say for Cody, I wrote about this in like a few times, like power rankings, the draft grades. I think um build because the two stars, Cat and LeBron, I think you can do pretty well. And then Jalen Green's kind of emerged as this like third pseudo star. It's like he's averaging like a ridiculous amount of points. I mean, it's just scoring and nothing else, but like that's useful. Um, I do think like some of the other pieces around like Cat and LeBron could be moved to like build a team that better fits around them. But I think the building blocks are there, 2 stars. Or if Cody wants to trade like LeBron or Cat, like one of the two to build around the other. But I think he has like the alpha style options there. And just deciding which direction he wants to go. You know, on LeBron and Cat, like maybe trade one for more depth. There's a lot of directions, but I definitely think like this team has like has the players there to make something happen. Yeah, I know he's active in the market too. He sent some decent trades the other day,
Yeah.
like around. But yeah, what about you?
Um, I see that he has LeBron, and I see that he has Cat, and those are like two pretty. Because I feel like Cat is just barely getting comfortable in NY, and I think he's gonna
Right.
be very pivotal in terms of giving him a lot of those assists. LeBron in year 22, I feel like he still has a lot in the tank in terms of like he can just turn it on at any given time. I see. I would say his holes are like I'm not really sold completely on Jalen Green, so like I'm gonna give him a build just because of those two character or those two people. And I wouldn't give him a cook just because I feel like Jalen Green is not gonna hit his potential, and also Jamal Murray. I feel like Jamal Murray is just not what he used to be. But Jamal Murray also I think they played last night. A ton of assists, so I think he's Jamal Murray's kind of learning a new role, in my opinion, where he's more of a point guard than the shooting guard that he traditionally is. Because I feel like he plays more of a shooting guard than a point guard most of the time. But yeah, I think that's gonna be those two are like kind of my question marks. But other than that, he's getting a good bit from Looney, especially in Nurkic in terms of rebounds and stuff. So I think he'll be okay. So nothing too alarmed at the moment. And then let's look at Carlos' squad, right? So one thing to really note, Jaren Jackson, I think he was out for the first 2 games of the season with an injury, and he's back. He has Claxton. He has Kobe White's playing kind of crazy. Capella is like a huge rebound slash block person. John Collins, I haven't really kept up with him, but he looks like he's doing well. And then Moses Moody just signed a big contract with the Golden State Warriors, so I don't know if I feel like a lot. Oh, also Trey Mann. Trey Mann is a sleeper. That used to be an OKC player, and he had like 23, I think, like opening night. That guy can ball, and he's very efficient too, from what it seems like. I just have the basic meme here because his name is literally his name. I mean, his name for his team is literally his name, so I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
whatever. But I personally am gonna give this man a cook. I think there's potential there.
Yeah, I agree with you. Carlo is like one of the better managers in the league. I think this is another result, just who he played the first week. Look, we played Justin, who has Anthony Davis, who
Mm,
ballistic last week. And yeah, like you alluded to earlier, he had some injuries he was dealing with. Yeah, I think the team is fine. And then I guess like a side note to Taylor Hendricks. Prayers up to him.
yeah, that was
He's out.
crazy.
He's out. So John Collins is going to slide in there and get more play time too.
Yeah,
I think that's yeah. I think Carlos' team's fine.
yeah,
I think for right now, I just leave it as a cook. Because as is, I still consider it like a play-in
yeah,
caliber team in our league, and I really like Trae Young too. So
yeah, and even something to note, he only lost by around two assists, like 4 rebounds. The steals, the blocks were a little bit more with 11. Rebounds were kind of close. Points were around 100, which and then the 3 pointers were around 16. The percentage was .02 in terms of,
right,
and even field goal percentage, it was point. I think this was .00 like 1 6 or
yeah,
something like
it
that.
was
So
close.
it was very close. It wasn't like a blowout or anything. So that's why I'm gonna give him a straight up cook because I feel like his squad against any other squad would do okay. Like he's not gonna get blown out or anything. Um, but yeah, so this is the segment where you talk your shit. So you want to call out anyone this week?
Um, yeah, I can call somebody out. I think I'll start with David Ruiz. He tried to put out a poll thinking like like everyone would be like, "Oh no, Gerard's delusional." But if you look at the poll, it's all just like it's
Yeah,
actually
it's
like to for me to finish even is pretty good, I think, considering like how many haters I got in the league. So like
mm,
I'll take that result any day of the week. And also Davis dumbass, he I can't fathom the idea of having a team build and then your first round pick is drafting a player that doesn't fit the build so you could trade them for another player that fits your build instead of just drafting a fucking player to fit your build in the first place. Like that's
makes no
idiotic to
sense.
me.
Yeah.
And then this player who wants to trade Tyrese Maxey scores 45 points the other night and he still hasn't traded him. Like there's no better time to trade him.
Yeah.
David Rui, if I'm gonna tell him to skip to this part of the video because that's so stupid.
No, don't
Um,
worry. I'm gonna get a clip
yeah,
of it.
yeah, and then the next one, yeah, I think and I was gonna talk shit to Jude, but Franz Wagner's playing really good. I mean, it was still a dumbass pick, but
Yeah.
at 27, but that was a pretty good one.
Yeah.
So I can't hate anyone last week. Let's see. Let me pull up the opposing teams real quick. I think I'm gonna talk shit to. Oh yeah, I definitely gotta talk some shit to Jeff's team. I think he's the new guy. I feel bad about it. Literally the first night he forgot to set like in the first 3 days he forgot to set his lineup,
Yeah.
and like we can have another Roy in the league. He got on it. I messaged Alvin to message him, so he got on it. I doubt Jeff will watch this, but in case he is, set your lineup.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
another PSA
Yeah.
on the app, you guys can use the quick lineup feature, which is so nice because it literally sets your lineup for the whole entire week. It was honestly one of my biggest gripes with just like fantasy because
Yeah.
like it was just going individually you just forget it sometimes, but like this feature is just so nice. And then if you see that throughout the week you have to make adjustments, you just make them. So
Yeah.
especially if you have too many people playing on one day.
Yeah.
So that's a
Oh,
PSA to everybody
yeah.
who needs to
Yeah.
know that.
I think everyone should know it by now. Oh, can I go back to talking shit about David? This
Yeah, go
motherfucker
ahead,
lost
bro.
he lost shit to Alvin when Alvin had like his whole team out. Like how is that even possible? Like Alvin, his whole team was out last week. Like he like Paul George, Hartenstein, Bogdanovich, Murray. I'm pretty sure that like Tyrese Halliburton missed the game last week too. I don't know how the fuck David lost that one. Like, I don't know. He just has a shit team. Like, even if he trades Maxi, I don't know what it is. And like, if he wanted, like, the team he wanted to build is what Reina's team is. Like a primarily like punt scoring team that is that, but her team just has more talent. Like
Uh-huh.
her, like Devin, like her second round pick, Devin Booker, it was better than David's first round pick, Tyrese Maxey. Like David thinks he could like his team's just ass. Like I don't mean like it's matchup dependent a little bit with his team because what he'll be good at, but like in general his team's just not good. Another person I'm gonna shit talk is Jaren, who's number one.
Mm.
I think it was just actually I can't talk too much shit because he had like because some of his players ended up playing all right, like especially Zach Levine pick. I was gonna roast him for that, but I'm gonna roast him for that Kawhi Leonard pick. That was really stupid. I
Yeah.
think picking him that early was way too early.
Yeah, because he was
Yeah,
the
yeah,
second round 39th pick.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And I know you said you want to keep these short, so my last one I'm gonna talk shit to is Alvin and David Yang because they always and Cody because they always got shit to say
He
about
just
the
said the whole
trades.
fucking league.
That's the veto brigade. They always got something to say about every single trade. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. There, I think we talked about it earlier. We got a cancel culture on trades here. Um, but we'll see. I mean, I'm sure they'll make a trade that benefits them, and all of a sudden their minds will change.
Damn, y'all hear that? He
But
calling y'all
yeah,
out. He calling y'all out.
like I think it's a little bit jealousy there that they can't make a trade is what it is. They feel a little bit left out.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna leave it at that. I mean I had my diss track already. I don't think no one responded because they know they can't they have nothing to say to me. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it
I
at
also
that.
want to put out there. Raina did say y'all be throwing her some awful trades. So, and you know
Yeah.
who you are. So,
See, that's sexist as shit.
yeah,
Motherfuckers, they think they could take advantage. She finished
right.
second in WNBA league.
She'll be talking to me and she'll be like, "Oh, this person offered me this trade." I'm like, and I won't give her advice. I'll be like, "Do you think it's a good trade?" She'll be like, "No, this shit sucks." I'm like, "Good girl." Like, she's straight, man.
That's fair.
I ain't gotta say
Yeah, I
shit to her.
know.
She's smarter than me. So,
Yeah, I know. I think it's her build too, right? I think a lot of the trades she'll get won't may not fit her build.
yeah, I think because the only thing I'm like thinking, like, I don't know, her squad is pretty balanced. It's pretty balanced. So, she's getting a little
Yeah,
bit of everything from everybody. So,
yeah. I mean, and then like, yeah, I'm surprised. I think Austin Reeves is somebody I didn't expect to be as good as he is this year. And then like Vooch is playing crazy good. Like, it's just some things like a week one thing. Like you got to look at it and see if like that's sustainable
hmm,
over the season. Yeah, the team looked good. And she won matchup with a week 147 cents. So
yeah, hell yeah. I'm about to,
cool.
go to the candy dispenser and get her something. We'll see. That's all. This fucking inflation, bro. But yeah, as always, Westbrook is my goat, and y'all have a good night.
All right, see y'all, man.
And also, thank you for Gerard for being my guest.
Yeah, I love anytime.
Yeah, stay tuned for episode 3.